You know, it's a crazy thought, but have you ever wondered if the answer to our modern health problems, I'm talking obesity, chronic diseases, all of it, isn't in some high-tech lab, but actually hidden 2,000 years in the past? Today, we're going to dig into a really fascinating idea. What if the way Jesus of Nazareth ate could teach us something powerful about our own health, right here, right now? Let's get into it.
All right, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll tackle the crisis that's literally on our plates today. Then, we're taking a trip back in time to Jesus' table in first century Galilee. After that, we'll put these two diets head to head. You won't believe the contrast. And then we'll get practical with 5 fundamental changes you can make and wrap up by looking at the incredible results you could expect. Okay, first things first, let's talk about the modern problem. It's kind of wild when you think about it, right? We live in a world with more food than ever before, yet we're also facing this massive epidemic of diseases linked directly to our lifestyle. It's this huge paradox. Our supermarkets are overflowing, but our health is, well, it's declining. And to really hit home just how serious this is, let me ask you a pretty startling question. As our weight goes up, does our actual physical brain shrink? And the answer, believe it or not, from brain imaging studies is yes. It's shocking, but research shows a direct link. The heavier a person gets, the smaller and less functional their brain can become. So this isn't just about fitting into your genes. This is about the health of our single most important organ. So how in the world do we get here? Well, the tough reality is that we're not just making bad choices in a bubble. The modern food industry has, well, it's kind of hijacked us. Our food environment is literally designed to work against our own biology, pushing products that are engineered to be addictive, not nutritious. So who are the main offenders here? Let's name names. We're talking about that constant onslaught of added sugar, especially high fructose corn syrup. We're talking about ultra-processed foods that are so far from their natural state, they're barely recognizable. And then there are industrial seed oils, the cheap corn and soybean oils that are in almost everything packaged. And of course, a whole cocktail of artificial ingredients. These things right here, they're the primary drivers of obesity, heart disease, and diabetes. Okay, so now I want you to just leave all that modern chaos behind for a minute. We're going to travel back in time. We're heading to first century Galilee to really understand the world and the food that Jesus lived with. And trust me, it was a completely different world from ours. I mean, just picture it. No refrigerators, no planes shipping food across the globe, no chemical preservatives. Your food had to be local, and it had to be seasonal. What you ate was whatever was growing or caught nearby, and you ate it in its whole natural form. What we might see as limitations today were actually the very things that naturally created a much, much healthier way of eating. So what was actually on the table back then? Well, the cornerstones of the Galilean diet were beautifully simple. Bread, made from whole grains like wheat and barley, was the absolute staple. And since they lived right by the Sea of Galilee, fish was their main source of animal protein. Red meat? That was a super rare treat, something for big celebrations. And the diet was filled out with things like beans and lentils, all sorts of fruits and veggies like figs and dates, and of course, that amazing heart-healthy olive oil. And to drink? Pretty simple. Water and wine, which was usually diluted. But it wasn't just what they ate that mattered. It was how they ate it. Meals weren't these rushed solo things you wolf down in front of a screen. No way. They were communal events, a time to gather, to talk, to connect. People ate slowly, using their hands or a piece of bread as a utensil. This way of eating just naturally encourages you to be more mindful, and it's a world away from our frantic modern habits. All right, this is where it gets really interesting. Let's put these two diets, these two worlds, side by side for a direct comparison. And when you see it laid out like this, the difference is just staggering. I mean, just look at this. It's a total reversal in every single category. Where they had whole natural foods, we have ultra-processed junk. Their protein from fish and legumes has been swapped out for processed meats and tons of red meat. Their whole grains have been replaced with refined grains and heaps of added sugar. Healthy fats like olive oil pushed aside for those cheap industrial seed oils. Even the very act of eating has been flipped on its head, from slow and communal to fast and often all alone. And what's the end result of all this? It's pretty simple. We've basically traded a diet packed with nutrients, fiber, and healthy fats for a diet of empty, inflammatory calories. And you can see the results of that trade pretty much everywhere you look in our modern health statistics. Okay, so we've seen the problem, and we've seen this incredible ancient alternative. But the million-dollar question is, what can we actually do about it? Well, this next part is all about action. It's about how you can take this ancient wisdom and apply it to your own plate today. And I want to be really clear about something. This is not about some crazy restrictive diet that you're going to give up on in a couple of weeks. Not at all. This is about adopting 5 really powerful, totally sustainable principles that can literally change your relationship with food for the better. So here they are. Number 1, eliminate the artificial. Seriously, this is the biggest first step. Cut out the ultra-processed stuff, the added sugars, the industrial oils. Just get it out. It'll reset your whole system. Number 2, embrace whole foods. Build your meals around things that grow on trees or in the ground. Vegetables, fruits, beans, whole grains. Number 3, prioritize fish. Make it your main source of animal protein, just like they did back in Galilee. Number 4, choose healthy fats. Make extra virgin olive oil your go-to for pretty much everything. And finally, number 5, eat mindfully. Just slow down. Eat with other people when you can. And maybe even think about an ancient practice like intermittent fasting, which can be as simple as just eating your meals in a shorter time window each day. Okay, now for the really exciting part, the payoff. If you actually start making these changes, what can you expect to happen to your body? Let's talk about the real-world results. And these changes happen a lot faster than you'd think. In just a matter of weeks, once you cut out all that super sweet processed food, your taste buds literally start to regenerate. An apple will suddenly taste incredibly sweet again, and your energy levels will go up. Then, in the medium term, over a few months, you'll see noticeable weight loss, better heart health markers, and less inflammation. And long term, we're talking about drastically lowering your risk for chronic diseases like diabetes and heart disease. You're potentially adding years of healthy life. It's a game changer. This powerful quote is a great reminder that this isn't some brand new idea. For a long, long time, people have understood that health is about the whole picture. Diet is absolutely crucial, but it works together with all the other stuff: sunlight, rest, exercise, and to having a sense of purpose. And if you need some hard evidence, check this out. There are modern groups like the Seventh-day Adventist who follow very similar biblical health principles, and they've been studied like crazy. The result? On average, they live 7 to 10 years longer than everybody else. I mean, think about that. 7 to 10 years. That number is staggering, and it just screams volumes about the power of this way of life. So we end up right back where we started, with a big question. We're always looking to the future, right? Searching for the next big scientific breakthrough to fix our health. But what if the greatest health revolution isn't about inventing something new at all? What if it's about rediscovering something timeless? What if the real secret to a healthier future has been hidden all along, in the wisdom of our most ancient past?